Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. Hope you all enjoyed your long weekend. So today we're going to go through, once again, some mobility and finish with a bit of core. So I'll have you start at the bottom of your mats. Feet just further than shoulder width apart. You want to keep your chest high, back straight, and you're sinking into a deep squat. Your heels should be staying flat on the ground, and you want to push on the inside of your knees with the outsides of your arm. And just hold this position. And you're going to rock back, shifting your weight left to right. Right arm up. And left arm up. Hands on the ground, and you're just extending your legs. So back nice and straight. So if you feel like you're rounding, keep your back straight and come to your knees, your shins, or your ankles. Up, you're going to cross your right leg over your left. And once again, hinging at the hips, you're folding back down. And up, opposite side, left goes over right, hinging at your hips and folding down. And slowly back up. This time your feet are shoulder width apart. You're folding forward and you're walking your hands out into a downward dog position. So your shoulders are not up by your ears. They're nice and you're relaxed. Your feet are going to be flat on the ground. If you can't get them flat on the ground, just kind of bend your knees and put your hips a tiny bit higher. And from here, you just walk your heels up and down. And we'll start with the right leg first. You're going to take the right leg, bring it up into the air and in between your hands. You're dropping your back knee and you're pushing your hip forward. Taking your right hand, you're going to do 8 circles backwards. And 8 forwards. Perfect. Hands to the inside of your foot. Your back foot comes up and turns outwards, and you're lifting your opposite arm off of the ground. If you can, take your other hand off the ground as well. Hands back down, your foot is going back, your hips are going up. You're going to walk your heels out. And you're taking that exact same leg and bringing it up and slowly to the outside of your hand. From here, if you can, you're dropping your elbows down to the mat. If you can't, just stay up on your hands. Perfect. Coming up onto your hands now, you're putting a bit of pressure on the inside of your knee, opening up your hips. Hands back down, foot back. Hi. Hips up in the air. You're walking your heels up and down. And your left leg is coming up in between your hands, dropping your back knee, pushing your hip forward. And 8 circles. And opposite side. Perfect. Hands are coming to the inside of your foot. Your back foot is coming up and turning outwards, and you're lifting your right hand off of the ground. And if possible, lifting up that other hand. Hands come back down, foot goes back, hips go up, and you're just walking your heels up and down again. And one last time with your left leg, you're bringing it up and slowly to the outside of your hand. From here, once again, dropping your elbows to the ground, and if you can't get them to the ground, staying up on your hands. Coming up, pushing that left knee open, opening up your hips. Hands down, foot back, hips up, and you're just going to drop your knee to the ground and sink into child's pose. Someone wants to play. You're going to bring your hands over to the right hand side. And over to the left. Stretching out your lats. Back to center, and you're going to come into tabletop position. From here, you're going to do 12 cat camels. So you're rounding your back and arching your spine, and you're going to do that 12 times. Perfect. Once you've done that 12 times, you're taking your hand, you're putting it right behind your ear. Your hips are staying square, and you're bringing your elbow back 8 times per side. Working on your T-spine rotation. Perfect, and swap hands. Perfect. Next, you're going to take your full arm, lift it up, and drop it down to the floor, leaving it underneath your opposite arm. So you're doing this movement 8 times per side. From here, you're going to bring your left foot forward, and you're grabbing onto the top of your right foot, and holding this position. Dropping your back foot, you're bringing your left foot into a pigeon stretch. And just sinking into this position here. And you're going to swap legs, so your right foot is now forward, and you're grabbing onto the top of your left foot. Lowering your back foot, bringing your front foot in front into pigeon position, and just sink back into that. Perfect. Bringing your foot back, you're going to go into a high plank position and just slowly lower yourself down to the mat. You're going to stretch your arms out in front, starting with your left foot. You're bringing it across your body and touching the floor if you can. And switch. Back onto your stomach. You're putting your hands over your head. Your chest is kind of a bit raised off the ground. And bringing your thumbs behind your back. You're going to do that 10 times. On the 10th one, you're just going to let your elbows fall to the ground. Perfect. Next, you're going to go on your side. You're grabbing your right foot, pushing your hip forward to deepen the quad stretch. And swap legs. Perfect. Onto your back. Right foot is flat, left foot is bent. You're pulling it across your body, putting a tiny bit of pressure on the knee, aiming to keep both shoulders on the ground. And you're going to take your arm across your body and back over. And we'll do that 8 times. And switch. So opposite leg is coming across your body. Both shoulders staying on the floor, putting a tiny bit of pressure on your knee. And bring your arm across the body and back over. Doing this 8 times. Perfect. So legs are bent at the knee, back is flat on the mat, your fingers, wrists, and elbows are flat on the floor, and we're going to do some floor angels. So you're bringing your elbows in towards your torso. And we're going to do that 8 times, slow and controlled. Perfect. Once you've done that 8 times, you're going to slowly sit up. So you're going to take your right foot, place it on top of your left knee, and just push your knee into the direction of the floor. And switch. Perfect. Next, you're going to lift one hand off the ground and you're driving your hips up into the air 8 times. And swapping hands. Same thing 8 times. Coming back down, you're going to take your left foot, you're bringing it out in front of you. Your right foot is in the upper inner part of your thigh, and you're hinging at your hips, grabbing onto your foot. Same leg, you're going to bring out to the side, hinging sideways. Perfect. And switch legs, so right foot out in front, left foot in the upper inner part of your thigh, and hinging at your hips, grabbing onto your foot. Back straight, foot out to the side, hinging sideways. Perfect. Next, you're going to bring your feet together. Your chest is up, back is straight. Shoulders aren't up by your ears, they're nice and relaxed. And you're bringing your knees down towards the ground. Perfect. Next, we'll go into 90-90 stretch. So both your legs are bent 90 degrees. Sitting up nice and tall, you're going to put a bit of pressure on your back leg, so leaning over. to the right. Next, you're going to fall forward over your front leg. And sitting up tall, slow and controlled, you're lifting your back foot off the ground as high as you can 12 times. Perfect. From here, you're just going to switch your feet over like this, bringing your legs back into a 90-90 position, but on the opposite side. And sitting up tall, you're hinging over your back foot, putting a tiny, tiny bit of pressure. You should feel that in your hip. And fall over your front foot. Sitting up nice and tall, you're going to lift your back foot off the ground 12 times. Perfect. From here, I'll have you sitting on top of your heels. So the top part of your foot is flat on the floor, and you're just going to be sitting back on top of your heels. You're going to bring your arm across your body, putting a tiny bit of pressure after the joint. And that same arm you're going to bring up and over, putting a bit of pressure backwards on your elbow. And switch, opposite arm, across your body, putting a tiny bit of pressure. And up and over. Perfect. You're going to come off of your heels for a second. You're pointing your fingers in towards your knees. And you're just putting a tiny bit of pressure backwards. So you want to stretch to the point of tension and not pain. Perfect. You're going to sit back on your feet again, hands behind your back, stretching out your chest. You're going to bring your forehead parallel with the ceiling. Chin to chest. And you're going to look over your right shoulder. And then over your left. Perfect. Awesome. So that's the end of the mobility portion. So we'll jump into the core session. So we're going to do 5 different exercises for the core workout. We're going to do commandos. So those are when you're up on your hands and you're dropping down onto your elbows and coming back up. You want to switch sides each time you drop down. We're going to do that for 30 seconds on. From there, we're going right into shoulder tap with push-up. So you are tapping your shoulder into push-up, tapping your shoulder into push-up, and so on for 30 seconds. Then we'll go into heel taps. So tapping your heels into crunches, and then into dead bugs. So arms and legs are up, and you're bringing the opposite arm and opposite leg down to the ground. So we'll do each of those for 30 seconds without any break. Once we've done the first set, we'll take a rest, and we'll do that one more time. So we'll get the timer started. Alright, so we'll start with commandos. And we'll get going in 3, 2, 1, go. Into shoulder taps with push-ups. Into heel taps. Straight into crunches. Straight into dead bug. Great work, guys. Last 15 seconds. And rest. So take a bit of a rest, and then we'll do that one more time. Putting commandos in front of shoulder taps with push-ups. That's not the best idea. Going in a few more seconds. So get into position. We'll start 2, 1, and go. and shoulder taps into push-ups. Into heel taps. Into crunches. And finish with dead bugs. And rest. Perfect. So that is all for today. Thanks for joining, and I will see you next Tuesday.